Here we are, 2022 Cross Country National Championship.
And this men's 10K championship race.
Well, I think the question of why I was brought to Gonzaga is like why I started teaching junior high out of the University of Oregon in Shoreline Public Schools, teaching 7th and 8th graders, turning down the head job at University of Idaho back when I graduated from Oregon. Junior high, college, what's up? So I took any challenge I take is to make whatever I enter, whatever arena I enter, a better place than it was. The basketball brand was already starting when I came in, and so it wasn't like I'm entering uncharted territories with something that was really, really special. So the things were already happening when I came in the fall of 2008. Obviously, distance running was not on the stage. My goal was to come in and see if we can take a little bit of that basketball and elevate our program to a high level. We had to start somewhere, and I inherited like around 15 guys and 15 gals, and let's roll the dice and see what we can do. Let's make them better than they are. And you know what? All those kids, they maximized their ability. They were the building blocks of what I hoped was going to happen as we kept building this thing.
They were a team on the rise. I know they never made nationals before I committed, but really could tell this team was hungry, and I felt like they'd been progressing for so long. You know, we weren't just trying to be at the national meet, but we were trying to assert ourselves there and stay there, and I really felt like it was like a good culture to create like a competitive team that was, you know, really hungry and really wanted to grow.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
COVID comes by, and that was definitely interesting. The locker room, which was a buzz, before spring break became a vault that was never opened up for about, 8 months. And so it was a challenge, but I'm pretty creative. So I tried to create some purpose. I mean, I would just stay up nearly all night trying to come up with creative ideas to be able to make sure these guys could somehow stay dialed in a very challenging time.
Georgetown makes its 38th appearance overall for the Big East powerhouse, with Gonzaga from a storied program to a first-timer. Congrats to the Bulldogs on a first-ever national championship.
Going over the course the day before, I said, I hope I prepared these guys, because this is a 10,000-meter steeplechase. I mean, all those hills are barriers, and it's one thing to get through half the race, then you got to do it again. But most teams at the NC2A meet are taught to go out harder and then position themselves and then use their grit to get through the rest of the race. Well, yeah, we went out, we were like third place, and then it radically changed. It was the opposite of this year. It went from third to fifth to 10th and all the way back to 27th. It was very, very tough.
Yeah, that Stillwater course, it definitely kind of made our program rethink a lot of things with, again, how we prepared physically, emotionally, and we had to keep that kind of summer energy in training going we had to prolong that as long as possible to make sure, because we had run well in September before and even October, but the reality of it is the national meet is at the end of November, so we had to really kind of prolong that summer type training as long as possible.
I've always had a philosophy that champions are made during the off season. And I always like to end that with, what have you done today to be better than your competitors? So off-season training, even though as coaches, we're not allowed to meet with them, they are allowed to connect with us if they want to, connect and share what they're doing. We just cannot expect them we can't reach out to them. So they don't know what's happening. When they go to Flagstaff, or they go to Park City, and I think that actually helped them greatly, to be honest with you, to perform as well as they did this year. And visualize and taste and smell what it's going to be like when we get to Stillwater in mid-November. And let's do all the little things that make great things happen.
Meanwhile, coming off their best ever performance at the West Regional, Gonzaga is headed to Stillwater in their third straight trip to the national championships. The Zags knocked off number 14 Washington for the second time this year and number 18 Oregon for the first time in program history.
To be honest with you, the biggest word I can give at the end of the race was relief. They did it. They said they were going to do it. But it's easier said sometimes to do it than to say it. And they said it and they did it. And it was a very proud moment because it was the greatest team race in Gonzaga history. We don't have to worry about a selection Saturday. We're in. And get ready for something we've been waiting to do for a long time and get back to Stillwater and erase what happened, a year and a half earlier.
Here we are, 2022 Cross Country National Championship.
And this men's 10K championship race.
I know in the huddle, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think a big reason for that is because I was really trusted that we put the work in, physically and mentally. I really trusted where everyone was at. Everybody knew what they had to do. Like I said, I trusted everybody that they were going to execute on that day. And if anything, it was just reassuring to everyone, hey, we've been working all season for this. We just came off a really good race at regionals. We're prepared and we're going to do really well today. And there wasn't a whole lot to say because I think everybody knew that. Yeah, I'm really proud of not just how I did with the whole team. I think when we finished, it didn't feel like immediately anybody was oh, I just had an insane race. But everybody did their job, and I'm really proud that as much as I wanted a little bit more individually, I feel like I really helped the team and did what I need to do. I didn't take any crazy risks that could have hurt the team. So I feel like more than anything, just being a piece of what we did as a team is really what I think about with that race, and that's something that's really special to me.
We were a resilient team, and I think the national meet was a reflection of how resilient and how patient we were too. Even though we knew that there were a couple of results that didn't really reflect where we were at, we always knew something greater was coming, and thankfully I think we can look back and at the regional auto qualification and the national result in particular and say, yeah, we were ready at the right time. So,
because once you taste automatic berth, 3 NC2A championships now in a row, you never want to go backward.